Are we live?
We're live.
Are we live?
We're live. Here we are.
How do I know?
I don't know. We're live on
Drawn to Fantasy. Okay.
We're drawn to fantasy.
I'm pulling it up. Oh, I can see us.
There we are.
There we are. Look, guys.
Look at that screen. That's a good composition, right? I feel like we're going to do the morning news.
That looks great.
You like that?
Yeah, let me click on it so
Do you want me to angle it down a little bit?
I don't know. Do you want to? Look, okay, I'll put it on mute so we want to hear. Hey guys, we're doing things a little differently today. As you can see us.
You can see us. We're here.
Okay.
I'm going to adjust it. I think it should be zoomed in a little bit.
Do it.
A little bit. Zoom in a little bit.
All right, here we are. Hello.
Oh, it's interesting. It's different looking on the phone.
You can just zoom it in a little bit. And of course, Pippett's deciding to go. Come here. Come here. Everybody needs to see you. Come here. Hey guys, what's going on? Here we are on Drawn to Fantasy. Wait, it doesn't even have the date.
No, I didn't do the date.
What episode
I didn't do the date. No. Oh yeah, the dogs are so excited.
It's the most and ladies.
Oh my God.
Hello. They're like, what is going on? They're confused.
You know, it's not the same unless the dogs are going nuts.
The dogs are going nuts. Okay, I'm
gonna stop it.
Stop that.
And I don't think any music today because my guess is I don't know how well they can hear us.
Okay.
Because we're not close to the phone.
You're right. Uh-oh.
So it'd be great if you guys could let us know how well you can hear us. So we'll probably have to project a little bit.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'll be looking down because I'm going to be checking out all of the messages that you guys are sending. But we thought this would be a good opportunity for us to do a little bit of Q&A.
Q&A, and we just need to mix it up. I know last week we were talking about kind of ending Drawn to Fantasy as everybody in the country is starting to slowly kind of get back to work. But we also realized a lot of kids were still probably not going to go back to school. So Angie and I decided that we were going to go ahead and finish the end of the month to the end of May. So we'll keep going until May 31st. May 31st. I should know this because just Sophia's birthday is on the 31st. So we'll go till May 31st, and then that will be...
Maybe May 30th.
Because it is Soph's birthday.
Because it is Soph's birthday on the 31st.
So maybe May 30th will be
That's actually her last day of school. I think it's on the 29th.
Okay.
Then we would do, the 30th is a Saturday.
Okay.
And then the 31st is a Sunday. So maybe the 29th is our last day.
We'll let you know as we get closer.
We'll figure it out.
We're here. We're going to go 5 days a week until the end of close to the end of the month. And then, then we'll see what happens. Like maybe we'll do it once a week or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're all in this together and we'll get through it together. The other thing that happened was I checked the mailbox, which I hadn't done in, I've got to admit, a couple of weeks, a week and a half. I hadn't been to the P.O. box. It's something Carol, our studio manager, normally does. And so I went and I came home with an embarrassment, Ange. An embarrassment of gifts from fans.
You were like Santa. Like, it was just packages and letters.
All kinds of
and you
stuff.
watched, everybody can hear us, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And we're using our presentation voices.
Yes, these are our big voices.
Big voices.
A stage voices so that you can hear us.
So that you can hear us. So I wanted to do a little show and tell with that.
Sounds good.
And then we'll do questions.
All right, awesome.
And we'll go. We have to get off just a few minutes before 4 o'clock Eastern time. But
we have something exciting.
We have that Zoom. We have a Zoom meeting about maybe Comic-Con. Comic-Con we were supposed to do this year.
One. Yes.
So we were supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con this year. San Diego Comic-Con's going completely virtual, so we're going to have a conversation whether, we should do it or not. So anyway, that's coming up. Also, we got Soph with weather. So what's going on with the weather in the country?
Good ever reporting live from the attic.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we are. We're at our desks here. What are you drinking today?
I'm drinking
gin.
I was going to say that. Yeah. No, just water. Just a little water. But I had seltzer at lunch. Like one of your flavored seltzers.
Are you burpy?
No, not at all. No, but it had a little residue, and so when you add the water, it's actually kind of nice. It's one of those weird things. I'm a kid who also mixed water with Pepsi when I was a kid, because we didn't get a lot of soda. So I would mix water with my Pepsi so that it would last
love a watered down...
Because it would last longer. Then you could take a can, and you could make that can just go and go and go and go. And that's pretty much what I did afterwards. I would go and go and go and go to the bathroom.
Hello, Patty in Scotland.
Hello.
Hi, Hi,
hello,
Tom
Scott.
Hollfelder. Hi, June. Everybody. Hey, Peg Craig.
Peg's here?
Peg's here.
Oh, Peg.
This is
that's
tough.
awesome.
Oh, we've been. I mean, we get to hug each other, and hug Zoe, but I miss hugging all of our friends.
I know. We said hi to our really good friends, Tom Engelberger and Cece Bell. We had a Zoom with them this morning, and all I wanted to do was just hug. Just hug.
Well,
I didn't realize how much hugging I missed.
I did see that there was a little girl who really missed hugging her grandparents, so they made this like clear, like basically out of saran wrap, and then they cut holes and put paper plates in and made giant arms out of Ziploc bags that were glued together so that they could hug each other through plastic film.
It's like John Travolta in that Bubble
The Boy in the Bubble.
Boy movie. Come on, Sandy. You may get a lot of Grease quotes today. Our Friday night movie last Friday was Grease. Sophia, we've been watching a lot of musicals. It's helped. It's helped a lot, actually.
Yeah, put on a musical. We watched
Hairspray.
Grease Live.
Grease
Hairspray Live.
A lot of 60s, a lot of late 50s, early 60s. Been good.
Because you know what? We need a musical. And we were just recommended Singing in the Rain, which we have to watch.
Which will be a good one.
So, all right, so we have a few things to visit today, and we wanted you guys to be able to see all of this stuff.
Some of the amazing stuff.
The amazing
Some amazing gifts. So we
that
got some amazing gifts here.
I'll get rid of this, right?
Yeah, yeah. First, Jolene Zumwalt. I don't know, is Jolene watching today? I hope she is.
Jolene, if you're here, give us a shout out.
She sent Sophia, this was so cool, so Spider-Wickian too, which is why I love it. But she said mermaids will shed their scales. And so she sent us actual mermaid scales that she found on the beach.
And it's glittery.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. It would be. I mean, how cool is that?
Jolene, if you can see, there's hairs on it already from Sophia hugging it. Those are Sophia's hairs. So that's pretty cool. Sophia actually had to do what was that assignment she did last year where she had to have animals?
It was animal coverings.
Animal coverings. So she had a little bit of rabbit fur, she had feathers, she had a snake skin, and we still have it. It's all in a shadow box. I totally got into it. And I'm thinking we should just pin that right in there with the other animal coverings, of real animals. Our good friend Kevin Sylvester, who's always, not only does he tune in almost every day.
Can I interrupt? For those of you who don't know, we are here in the studio. We are in Tony's studio, or our studio today.
Yeah.
And this is where we are live from. So somebody asked, where are we today?
Where are we? We don't know.
We
have no idea.
Yeah, so this is a bookshelf filled with Tony reference. Maybe you could even share some favorite books at some point I know you've been sharing lots of reference and stuff like that. But
The D&D stuff I posted over the weekend. So Kevin Sylvester Ange, he's probably been tuned in since day one. On Twitter and Facebook, he's such a huge advocate. He's always talking about our stream.
And he also bought those gift certificates from High Five Books.
That we
Kevin,
gifted. He
awesome.
really paid it forward. Anyway, Kevin sent us all of his books that I wanted to highlight. Neil Flambe and the Marco Polo Murders. Which, here's what, I don't know if you saw this, Ange, he got a blurb.
Oh, I saw it.
He got a blurb from Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, I saw it.
And it's a good blurb because he didn't, yell at him or demean him or demoralize him, which that would have been a cool blurb.
Yeah, it doesn't say, this book reads like a dehydrated camel turd.
No, it doesn't. He doesn't say that.
The person who wrote this is an idiot sandwich.
Yes.
That's the really good Gordon Ramsay.
I actually thought I was sitting next to Gordon Ramsay for a second. It was so spot on that it was like he was right here.
It was.
I wanted to just throw my utensils down.
Dehydrated camel turd. That was from the first episode. I loved that. I used that all the time.
Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
He sent another book, Miners. We need to send him an E. He's missing an E on that. I think he needs to buy a vowel. I'm kidding, Kevin. But awesome. And Gargantua Jr., Defender of the Earth.
Yes.
So thank you, Kevin.
Awesome.
He also included some cute little watercolors and very, very, very kind.
So awesome.
Very nice.
Oh my gosh, look at the drawing he did.
Oh, wow.
Personalized it.
That's awesome. We're going to get a lot of money when we put that on eBay.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of eBay, Ange, the
Yes.
auction the Unlikely Story, which is Jeff Kinney's bookshop, it's about an hour from here. It's closer to Boston than where we are.
Yeah.
They held an auction, and all the proceeds benefited booksellers.
Yeah.
BINC. I don't know what it stands for, though.
Booksellers Inc.
Yeah, booksellers in need of cash is probably what
That
it stands
sounds
for.
perfect, and I'm all in for supporting that.
And so we did a Kenny and the Dragon kind of lot, and I did a pretty nice drawing, nicer than normal. Put some colored pencil in, $500. That's awesome. So thank you for bidding and sharing and doing that. Goes to a good cause. She doesn't always tune in, but I'm in touch with an artistic hero of mine's daughter. So Pete Hawley was a great illustrator during he started in the 40s.
You talked about Pete Hawley's stuff.
I've talked about Pete Hawley before. His daughter Mandy will occasionally send me ephemera from Pete's collection. So she sent these. These are unbelievable. I'm going to guess they're like 1960s. They look very like late 50s, early 60s. They're giant cards called Cutie Cats. They're all vintage. I love stuff like this. Also, Angie, this card is like insanely embossed.
I know, the emboss is nuts. It
You're
almost
never gonna
feels
see
like
that.
it would be like tin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Yeah, you're never going to see that on a card today. Just the idea of these. Yeah, so cool. So, Mandy, thank you for sending these.
I love this card so much. It's like this sad kitty, but then there's like the photo of another kitty. Like, is that
like
this?
she broke his heart?
Yeah, but then it says, when you're not here, the whole world's gone to the dogs.
Oh, so she didn't break his heart. She's just not there.
She's just missing him.
And as an artist, I'm also looking at that going, that cat is green. Like, it's minty, not even minty green. It's like a
Yeah, there's so
and
much
it
green.
works.
Yeah.
It totally works. I can't do that.
And that awesome wicker like chair going on here.
Plus this texture. This was
texture
very
background?
popular. This was very popular back in the day.
I love it.
I love stuff like this.
That was so cool.
Holly Black's husband, Theo Black, this was episode, 30 or whatever, when we did Star Wars characters. Not May the 4th. We just did straight up Star Wars characters as a request. It was one of the live by requests. And it was Theo's suggestion to do a Cantina alien. We sent that drawing, the junk pot went to Theo, or that alien went to Theo, and he returned, sent me his version of Finhead.
That is awesome.
Which is awesome.
So good, Theo.
So good. My favorite part is he's holding a complicated stick that's just a stick. So you see the stick.
All of
and
his commentary that he added around the edges.
Yeah, good classic
so good.
Theo humor. So thank you, Theo, for that. And Sebastian, I hope you guys are watching and doing well. The one, though, that really stopped us in our tracks, Ange, was this. I'm going to stand up for this one so that everybody can see. This was, we got a really lovely letter from June Gallagher. And June has sent us stuff before. She's been a fan for a long time. And June
is, come on.
I mean, I want you guys to realize this. June sculpted Mother Louse. This is a 3D version. How's it look on the screen, Edge? I want to make sure I'm getting it. Does it look good?
Well, not there yet, because this is always a few moments behind.
A little bit of
wow. Somebody's calling to buy it right
now.
Let's
go. Let's see who's calling. Hold on. Maybe it's CVS.
Wait, you're gonna go check? I mean, how cool is Mother Louse? Like,
I don't know. My phone's not down here.
Oh, okay. Well, guess we'll find out later. Yeah. Okay, first of all, she has a felt rat, which is amazing. I know you were showing that close up too.
Oh yeah, here, I'll go back to it. I brought you your drink too.
Oh, thank you.
She drinks out of a mason jar because we're in the country now.
In the country.
We're in the country.
#hipster.
Anyway, look at this. She's got a glass eye, Ange. She said the newt was tricky to do, but it was easier for her to felt a giant rat. Awesome. And just beautifully done. Really so amazing.
The hair is amazing. The hat is unbelievable.
And it made it here unscathed, June. So
the fact that look at that rat tail.
Oh yeah.
Made it through the U.S. Postal Service.
That's a testament to the U.S. Postal Service, actually.
Yes.
So thank you so much, June. I hope you guys can appreciate this as much as we can.
It's going to hold a place of honor.
She's going on the shelf.
Right up one.
Well, I'll put her up one for two.
Oh, yes.
There you go. There's a fan-made Rovender right there. So she's going there, June. Thank you so much. That is incredibly. You guys are all too kind. We are just touched that you guys would even send stuff to us. It's not anything we expect. We're happy to give the things away that we give away. And so, thank you.
Thank you guys for thinking of us.
Yes.
We, of course, being here with you guys for the last, how many episodes now, or how long has it been? When was the first one?
Well, we're coming up on episode 50.
Dogs are going nuts.
The dogs are going to celebrate.
Dogs are pumped.
So gee, I don't know, Ange. We started in April, end of March.
So
We're almost 2
coming up
months.
on
It'll be
2
2
months.
months. We'll do 2 months when it's all said and done. It'll be about 2 months.
Yeah. And I have to say, and I've said it before, this was just as much for our own sanity as it was for everyone else's. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us every day. It has been such a lifesaver, you know, for us to know no matter what happened throughout the day, at 3 p.m. we were going to be hanging here with you guys.
Drawn
to save.
Yeah. So we got any questions, Ange?
Yes.
Questions?
Well, it looks like, I don't know, okay, so I don't know if it froze up here at all for you guys. Hold on, I'm pressing play here.
Oh, gee, I hope not.
Hopefully it didn't. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to look down at my computer here, so if you guys have any questions, make sure, and I might pull it up on my phone, because I might be able to get a little bit better reception.
A little faster. Yeah, you get a little drag on your...
There's a little bit of drag here, so I will let you guys know. Wait.
Let me check, while you're checking the phone, let me just check my phone and make sure it hasn't, like, frozen.
Oh, that's...
No, it's going. It's cruising along.
Okay.
So we're good.
You know how...
Okay, just making sure.
You know how the technologies go.
Yeah.
Okay, there I am.
There we
Yay!
are.
Frozen.
Good.
The dogs are excited. Okay, I'm just going to close this out. I'll use my phone. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Hi, Penny. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will share them with T. What?
These every day. They're dead silence. It was totally...
Hold on. I'm going to let
crickets.
Pippin out.
I'll do it. I can do it right now. I can do that.
What? Leave her alone.
I'm going to look at the things. Emily C. Martin, I mean, honestly, Emily C. Martin, everything that you've done, you've been so participatory. You created the fan group. I mean, it's like this. It's the slow... if Andrew's here, she'd be clapping with me. But thank you for everything, Emily. Chris May wants to know what my first big break was. My first big break job. My first big break job came within a year of graduating art school. I went to school down in South Florida. I went to the Art Institute down in Fort Lauderdale. And I was submitting at the time to magazines, because magazine and editorial illustration was incredibly huge at the time. Most of the big magazines were using illustration. And I was rejected by all of them. I was rejected by the children's book publishers. Hey, Ange, why don't you put them upstairs?
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why they're just... They know we're excited, so they get excited. Anyway, my first big break would have been Dragon Mountain, which is right here. I submitted art to TSR all during the year of 1992, and finally I got lucky and was able to illustrate this big ginormous adventure. I didn't do the cover; that was done by Janelle Jakeways, but I did do all the interior. Here's one, Ange. Boy, this one's due for a revisit. I should go back and redo this one. Anyway, It was filled with kobolds and dragons. My favorite aspect of this book, if I can remember correctly, and it's been a long, long time, was that there was a kobold that had been... It was like a giant, a fire giant that had been polymorphed into a kobold, Ange. So you think you're fighting this kobold, but he has the power and strength of a giant. Anyway, that was my first big break. That was it.
I moved the dogs upstairs.
We'll see how that goes.
They're going insane up there. Everybody said that our dogs got everybody else's dogs going.
Barking and
yeah.
Going. I don't know. They were so quiet all of a sudden. It's because we're talking in an elevated tone, I bet.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, What's going on?
All right, so here we go.
Lee Fody loved the revisits you did over the weekend.
Oh, thank you, Lee. Yeah, I was gonna do some more mermaid drawings. I wasn't feeling like we did the exercises last week. They came out okay. I wasn't like, I went back to look at them. I was like, I kind of want to redraw all these.
Which ones?
The mermaid stuff that I did for mermaid. I was gonna do some. Remember, I was talking. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do a finished one.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how I came up. I think I just went to pull like a Dover book. Like, oh, let me go pull one of my old Dover books to get inspired. And here's the one on. This has like all these great wood engravings of old timey women, and I like that because I like the classical face. and I flip through and I go, oh wow, there's the sprite or the sylph from the old Monster Manual. And so I kind of was like, oh, that's kind of, let me go look. I wonder if I have the sketch. Now, a lot of the Monster Manual sketches are in a sketchbook, and that's at the Norman Rockwell Museum as part of the exhibit. Are you kidding?
So must have opened the door, and now the dogs are back. Hey, Soph.
Hey, Soph.
We're live.
We're live.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So we had to put the dogs upstairs.
They were
going
being
nuts.
maniacs. They were totally maniacking out.
How was school?
Good. I got all of my homework done.
Nice.
Nice. Well, we'll be doing this for a little while. I don't know if you want
Pippin wants to join.
Pippin wants to join. Anyway, thank you, Lee, for, I'm glad you enjoyed the revisits. I'll make sure I post those soon.
Take them upstairs, Soph.
Yeah, just take them upstairs. They're too crazy.
Please.
Yeah, don't make them crazy.
So heavy.
Yeah, just carry them upstairs.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Put them in a garbage can. Put the lid on the garbage can.
No!
And put it in the
That's horrible! All right.
Okay, next question.
Everybody said hi, Soph.
Oh,
Yes.
hi. I'm getting mauled by a dog.
Okay, next question. All right. Dun, dun, dun. You guys are laughing. Laughing at our zaniness here.
Insanity.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was the... Okay. Cannot contain the wee beasties. This is true. All right.
True.
Questions.
What do
We
got?
are ready for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lots of high Sophs now that she's left.
Yeah, she's gone. But
And
we'll pass it
she
along.
was the camera operator, yes.
Yeah, so anyway, Lee was talking about, I went back, Angie, and you saw I took the old Dover book and kind of redrew the sylph. And it just, just doodle it. Just kind of doodle all the week,
What
over
do
the
you
weekend.
feel like when you see that and you see the difference in the work? How does that make you feel? Do you look at that and think, yeah, that looks so much better now? Or are you thinking like, that's what I wanted to draw but didn't have the ability to draw?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of, definitely a little bit of that, but also my mind was in a different place. I was definitely more fixated on other aspects at the time, and I think first and foremost, just trying to get all the art done in time.
Yeah. So you think it was, like if you had less of a time constraint, but I feel like you've just drawn so much more over the past,
Yeah.
almost 30 years.
Yeah. I'd grab them and show you, but they're upstairs in the dining room where I was sitting and drawing. So it's you'd be waiting for me to go grab them, but we'll post them. I think there was a limit to my technical ability back then, and something interesting. Someone had said, someone had joked that the old ones would have been on the HBO version of Dungeons and Dragons, and the new ones were like the Disney version. But the truth was, I was looking at Disney art back then as well, and Disney art meaning like the designs the animators do, because I loved the amazing the anatomy, but also the movement and the simplicity of line and acting. I think definitely there was I was in my 20s when I did. I was really young. I was probably 22, 23 years old. And so I had not done any children's books. So I think that's part of my DNA now. I mean, you've got 20 years of making books for children from very young age to, middle grade. And so that's going to affect how I look at a lot of this stuff. I'm also a dad with a daughter, so I'm kind of like, what would she be into? What would she like to see? What would you like to see? So it's different than a 20-year-old who's just drawing what I want to see.
Interesting.
So it's all, thinking about all that stuff, and also, I get older and I think of like, what are the things that are maybe timely, but also timeless, if that makes any sense. So like I gave her the old-fashioned, we're going to talk about it, but you guys can't see it. We can talk about it maybe next time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, T posted them to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So they're on there, right?
Yeah, it was an Instagram story, so
story.
it would be a Facebook story. And I posted more today, actually, because as I was going to put I have like a file with all those sketches in them, and when I went to put it away, I'm like, that's from the animal book. I'm always talking about that Dover animal book.
Kevin Sylvester said the poses seem more natural now, and I agree with that. It doesn't...
Yeah.
Something about it from the original reference, it almost felt like you were drawing from a statue,
Yeah.
And now your knowledge of anatomy has deepened so much.
Yeah.
And how, because I think of the influence of children's books, how all your characters are acting.
Yeah.
You know, now it looks like they're more lively. They've got life to them. They've got more kind of weight to them, and you know, movement for sure.
More animated.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean that like to make it look like an animated movie, but make it look like there's someone home. You know, like they're alive.
Jason Alona says, any updates on your secret film projects?
I wish I could. They're all going really well, but we can't announce anything yet. But we're very, very excited, and
we can say, or we can't say which ones, but I will say ones because there are multiple
projects.
But we did receive a script
over the weekend. That was great. That was good.
It's really good.
Yeah, yeah. They're all in. None of them are in production. They're all in development, but they're all inching closer, and it's exciting. I got to be honest with you, Ange. Also, a little like the idea of my involvement on possibly multiple projects at once is exciting, exhilarating, and a little like, oh my.
So I'll be honest. I mean, the process, because we've gone through this so much, and Tony's all of his books have been pretty much optioned
at some point,
which is when someone purchases the rights to make a film, or a television version of something, and we've gone through it so many times that we also have to temper our enthusiasm about it. Yeah. Because it could vaporize at any moment.
Yeah, that's just the way that stuff goes when it's in development. The studio can, a lot of times you can have different people cycle in and out of the studio, and the new people aren't as excited about the project as their predecessor was. That one happens to us quite a bit. They usually option it for 2 years, and then during that time, they try to get a team to get the project up and running. So you start with a screenwriter and to adapt it. Sometimes that goes well, sometimes it doesn't. With one of the projects, they were in development the entire year last year, and it just wasn't the right fit for the project. So we went back to square one in January, essentially, which means we had to not just rewrite it. We had to go find the writer to rewrite it. So it takes a long time, and which is fine because you want it to be right. That's I think the thing. That's what my job is, and all of this when these things get adapted.
Quality control.
To the best of my ability, and I have some ability, but not a lot of influence. I mean, they don't want the creator to be upset, and I try to be a really good team player. I think everybody who's adapting my stuff and working on it now would hope would agree that they think I'm a team player. But it's a lot of people. It's millions of dollars for these projects. So I help as much as I can, and then fingers crossed that maybe we'll have news before the end of the year.
Well, and I also think like the partners that we're working with on these projects right now are so exciting, and they're so smart, and they really, really care for the source material. Yeah. And that, I think to bring that level of kind of love and passion for the source material, they want it to be the best that it can be. Yeah. So I think you guys, if this goes in the direction that we're hoping it's going to be, I think you guys are going to be really, really, really excited.
I think so too. It's all things you guys have suggested and thought about before at some point too. So I've just had to sit on my hands.
Gage said, is it film or television?
They're all television. They're all television, which I'm really glad. Because streaming has kind of made way for this huge demand for, they need source material. They need intellectual property. I think taking listen, if you took a picture book and tried to make it into a film, that's really, really tough to pull off as a successful film, whether it's live action or animated, because they have to perform at such a high level. And if you take any of my middle grade books and try to adapt them in the film, you're going to get the Spiderwick movie where you've got to truncate the story down to fit in maybe 2 hours. So I feel like television is the way to go for all the things that I've created at this point right now, until we have some kind of breakthrough in how movies are made or consumed. And I got to be honest, my fear is that when we all kind of get on the other side of the pandemic, I don't know what kind of shape movie theaters are even going to be in. Like, how many people are going to be excited to go sit in a movie theater with a bunch of other people? I don't think of a movie theater as the most sanitary place. It's always sticky. The handles are always sticky with soda.
How do you sanitize between showings? I was having I did a podcast earlier a podcast called Moms Don't Have Time to Read with Zibby Owens, and we were talking about that. It's one of those things that we're going to talk to our kids one day. We used to sit in theaters and eat popcorn and, and have our Raisinets. It's going to seem like it was long ago. And now, with the success of something like Trolls that went direct to the TV...
Yeah, you were speaking of Trolls 2.
Trolls 2, sorry.
Yeah.
Which you guys know, if you've been watching, we were super excited to watch.
Yeah, did very, very well.
Yeah.
So I think studios
drive-in movies are coming back, Peg.
That
You're right.
would be cool, Peg.
How cool is that?
I'd love to see Grease in a drive-in movie. How meta would that be? And then you can get up and leave. And then I'd be stranded at the drive-in. Brandon, a fool.
What will they say?
Monday at school. Peg knows.
Peg knows. Yes.
Peg's like,
ooh, I see that you're all commenting with some guesses about what you think it could be.
Lots of appendages crossed.
Yes.
We'll see.
Okay, so, all right, you guys what's your favorite D&D module? Eric Burkert asks.
Eric Burkert wants that I illustrated or that we've played?
Oh, good question.
I mean, I never illustrated any modules, so it's gotta be ones that we played.
Oh, come on, we just played a really good one.
Oh, the Ghost Tower of Inverness.
That was awesome.
We really liked that one. That was a good one. We're playing all the classic old modules. Keep on the Borderlands was such a big introductory module for me as it was for probably millions of other kids in the 80s. So I always have a soft spot for that adventure. One of my favorites that I played in middle school, but we haven't played yet, is the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. It's an unbelievable module. It's a really high level one, which is why you guys haven't played it yet. You haven't played it yet.
We would just all die.
But the gist of it, if you don't know, and if you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, think of Lord of the Rings. Think of that kind of troupe of characters. Hobbits and dwarves and elves with bows and arrows and axes and swords, and you're off on to go into a dungeon, and then you get inside and you realize you're in a spaceship.
What?
That's what Expedition to the Barrier Peaks is. Yeah.
What about Caves of Chaos?
What about the Caves of Chaos?
we did that.
You guys did that. It was a good one.
Awesome.
Another classic adventure.
That was so good.
Really, really good. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm scrolling down.
So those are some of my favorites.
Dean Baxendale said, "What was your favorite cartoon growing up?"
Oh, animated, like a Saturday morning cartoon, Dean, or like a feature?
I'm just saying any cartoon. So when we were kids, it was all about Saturday morning cartoons.
Right.
What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon? What was the thing you got so psyched for?
I wanted to say Bugs Bunny.
Mine was Scooby-Doo.
You love Scooby-Doo.
I loved Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo was good. I definitely went through a period where I watched a lot. Now, did you like old Scooby-Doo, or did you like Scooby-Doo with Sonny and Cher? Did you like that?
Of course I liked that. Of course I liked that, because I was a huge pop culture, junkie on top of it. So the fact that you could go from watching the Sonny and Cher show, right? Playing with a Sonny and Cher doll, and then seeing Sonny and Cher
on Scooby-Doo.
What
would Cher say to the...
It was like SpongeBob, actually. It was kind of the SpongeBob formula in that sense of that you were taking popular celebrities or The Simpsons, right?
Definitely.
And then putting them in as characters playing themselves.
Yeah. What did Cher say to Scooby? What did she say?
Oh I don't even remember. What, do you remember?
No, I want you to do a Cher impersonation talking to Scoob.
We would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
So good. That's good. I love that. We would have gotten away. And I'm saying, yeah. I'm going to go skiing.
Oh, no.
I was a huge Land of Lost.
How was Scoob? Oh, wow. Josh Sanders watched it, and he said it was amazing, and it made him so nostalgic.
Oh, well, we'll have to watch it. We, as we said, we did musicals, and
yeah, Scrappy can suck it. Agree.
Soph had not seen Grease. She'd seen Grease live from a few years ago, but she'd not seen the actual John Travolta movie. So we watched that on Friday. That was our Friday night movie, and then it was Grease weekend. It was the soundtrack was playing. We then rewatched Grease live. So Scoob took a back seat to Grease Lightning. My other Saturday morning favorite stuff would be, I loved Land of the Lost, which is not really... All the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff as a kid growing up in the 70s, I loved all the like I grew up on H.R. Puffin stuff. I grew up on the Bugaloos and Wonderbug.
They always had the best theme songs.
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Like I love. So that was not animated. And then as far as what's your favorite animated feature Disney movie that you like is the like if there's one you have to have one in your collection and it's only one.
Oh gosh, I don't. I mean, I love Beauty and the Beast.
You do.
I really do. I mean, you would probably go with if I had to guess. I mean, I know you love Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
I called it.
Yeah, Robin
Like
Hood.
if this, we should have. Where we
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
up
yeah,
signs,
yeah.
I would have totally.
I would have
got
said
that
Lion
one.
King. I would have said Lion King for you.
No, I mean I love Lion King, but I do love The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Or,
Little Mermaid.
But I love Little Mermaid, and I love Beauty and the Beast. Those two, Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid are probably my two favorites.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good ones. Yeah, you like the Renaissance, the Disney
Yeah.
Renaissance. I like the late, the 60s, early 70s stuff. That I would have seen.
Aristocats?
I like the Aristocats okay. I mean,
101
racial
Dalmatians?
I love 101 Dalmatians. I've talked about this before,
Yeah.
where they used the xerography for the cells, and so you see sketchy lines of Jungle Book, 101 Dalmatians, Aristocats, Robin Hood. I love that kind of sketchy look because you can actually see the hands in it. I mean, Beauty and the Beast is and going back, Sleeping Beauty. They're beautiful. I love those as well. But there's something about that hand drawn feeling in those ones in the 60s that I really like.
Yeah, Dating Game. Thanks, Kevin Sylvester.
That's it.
We did. Oh, the Newlywed Game, not the Dating Game. The Dating Game was the one where she sat on one side of the wall, or he sat, and then there was the Bachelors and Bachelorettes.
Bachelor number 5. If we were
what?
going to go on a date, where would we go?
Chili's.
Yeah. Bennigan's.
Tony loves chili. Well, you did love Chili's.
I did love it.
There
I
were-
mean, like, how many years ago?
Yeah.
Though? It's been
Well,
a while.
I mean,
We
that
tried to
whole-
go back.
That molten lava cake
Still good.
is so good.
But look, to be fair, I would always get this. There was like a salad there that I always
You
loved to eat.
did, like a Southwest chicken salad.
Yeah, I mean, it had way more calories and carbs than just
Yeah, I
eating
think it literally had like chicken tenders on top of it.
That's why I liked it. I kidded myself that I was eating healthy and having tenders.
Yes, Angel Shandy, The Little Mermaid is also your favorite.
Yeah,
yes,
there's some beautiful
so
animation.
good.
Really great animation.
So
in that.
good.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love that
beautiful
too.
animation in that.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, hand-drawn movies have a great feel. Yes, Joanne Lone, we agree.
And to veer off of Disney for 2 seconds, I mean, that original Watership Down, I must have watched that I don't know how many times. I loved that.
I loved it.
I do.
I remember seeing it as a kid, and it freaked me out.
See, and I think that's the difference.
You were older.
It
You're older.
came out in it must have came out like 79.
Yeah,
I feel like late 70s. So I would have been like in 5th or 6th grade.
Okay,
when
and
I
I
saw
would have been 6 and terrified by that like Grim Reaper rabbit.
Right. So there's an interesting thing that happens in the 80s, and there was definitely a view of like animated movies were like kiddie movies. They had lost some of the edge. Disney tried to reclaim it with the Black Cauldron, which was like a weird, didn't quite know what it was. Don Bluth captured it with like The Secret of Nim and the Dragon's Lair game. Like he seemed to understand the minds of a 12-year-old, and like it's got like just enough edge to it that you're still going to want to watch it. And so I loved, the early Don Bluth movies were also really good. And Dragon's Lair was amazing. That video game was like.
Now that I come to think of it, I'm just thinking about how like our childhoods were so. I mean, we had video games,
Yeah.
but it was really until like ColecoVision or something. But it was such a social thing. You'd go
Yeah.
to an arcade.
You go to an arcade, or you would play Atari 2600
with your
their
friends. You know, it's so interesting that kids now, like gaming is so like you got your headsets on. It's kind of like such an individual
Yeah.
activity.
Well, you're socializing, but you're not together.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, our parents all thought that video games were going to rot our brains. So I don't know about you, but like in my house, you had like an hour after dinner you could play it, and then that was it. And
Yeah.
it was like
I
you're
had to
done.
figure out how to balance my time between watching 90210 and,
And
playing
playing.
Mario Brothers.
Yeah. No. Same here. Same here. My mom's the same way. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, question. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, I saw a bunch of questions. Which sci-fi book would you like to have written? Hernan Kowalski asks.
Wow. What I've liked to have written.
Well, let me rephrase, because I don't know if there's something that you were like, I wish I wrote that.
Yeah.
Is there any sci-fi book that you are jealous that you didn't come up with the premise for?
Oh, wow. You know, you're going to be a little... I'm not a huge sci-fi reader, actually. I mean, I've read a lot of Michael Crichton, but I don't know if he's considered technically sci-fi. I mean, and I feel like the things that Michael Crichton came up with are amazing. So, like Jurassic Park with the mosquitoes and the DNA,
Genius.
it sounded real. Totally
Genius.
sounded real. So, I don't know if there's any that I wish I came up with so much. I mean, there's been times we've talked about me illustrating classic books. There was a conversation happening and kind of as Spiderwick was winding down, so geez, almost 10, 15 years ago, I had been given the opportunity to re-illustrate Peter Pan, the original Peter Pan. I've been given the opportunity to re-illustrate Wizard of Oz, I want to say was one, and The Mouse and His Child, I want to say came
We
up.
had talked about doing classics
And then we
line.
Yes, and then we rethought that idea of like, is there new classics that should be illustrated instead of, you know, what could we put on the shelf next to The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan? And Princess of Mars was one, and I did a lot of work on Princess of Mars, and then just realized it wasn't quite the right fit for me. I love Princess of Mars and I love Edgar Rice Burroughs, but it's kind of, it's not that it's antiquated, but it's a little outdated and appealing to a child of today because so many things are borrowed from A Princess of Mars. I mean, the good thing that came out of it was as I was trying to design the Tharks, I got the design for Rovender Kit.
That's where I was just thinking is that what came out of all of that, all the concepting in your mind and thinking about all of classic fairy tales, sci-fi, future, you were like, oh, well, I
could just apply
yeah,
this to
I could
one. I should just be
apply
working
this
on
to my
one
own
book.
story.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. And I still remember this. Brian Selznick had said this to me, I don't even know how many years ago. And Brian had written and illustrated many children's books. Won the Caldecott for The Invention of Hugo Cabret, which became the Martin Scorsese film Hugo. And Brian had said, he's like, it's not our job to re-illustrate the classics. Those have been done. It's our job to make new classics.
Well, he did
And then he
illustrate the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, he did. That's
did you work on Charlotte's Web? And Tom Hoffelder asked.
Oh, Tom Hoffelder. Yes, I did work on the Charlotte's Web live-action film that came out 2007, I want to say. It came out right before Spiderwick.
Yeah.
I did. Purely by happenstance. The production crew that worked on Charlotte's Web was deep in production when Spiderwick was gearing up at Nickelodeon. And so I was out at Nickelodeon. Now, Nickelodeon had offices on the Paramount lot back then, and they may still. I don't know. But we were pretty early on in production for Spiderwick, and Julia Pister was the executive, one of the executives at Nickelodeon at the time, and she had brought me in. She wanted to show me some of the digital work of Phil Tippett. Now, Phil is a special effects guy that goes back to Star Wars. Most famously, he did the chess set in the original Star Wars thing.
He's a superstar. He's
Superstar.
done, like,
He did the Snow Walkers and Empire Strikes Back. That's
RoboCop.
That's Snow Walker. That's what
That's
that
your
is.
Snow Walker.
That's my Snow Walker.
That's not elephant. That's Snow Walker.
That's Snow Walker. Yeah, he helped with the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yep.
A legend. And so Phil was now starting to do more and more digital work. He had built a team that was doing a lot of digital stuff, and he did Templeton. And so Julia knew I was a huge Phil Tippett fan. She's like,
and a huge Templeton fan.
yes, two things. And so she brought me into one of the conference rooms to see this clip of footage they had got this from special effect of Templeton. And so when we went in there, the director for Charlotte's Web, he did 13 Going on 30.
Is it
Gary
Ross?
Not Gary
No.
Ross. Gary, it is a Gary though. Golly, I can't remember.
You can look on the poster.
I can't believe I'm Gary Winnick.
Thank
Gary
you.
Winnick, the late Gary Winnick.
Yeah.
He passed away a few years back, untimely passing. I'm not sure why. Anyway, Gary was the director, and Mark Waters, who was the director for Spiderwick, they knew each other, and so they were finishing up their meeting as we were coming in to go see the Templeton footage, and we, Mark introduced me. We talked about what was going on. Gary's like, oh, it's going great. We're just really having a hard time with Charlotte. Like, we can't figure out how to...
And Julia Roberts was the voice
of
Charlotte.
That's right. So he's like, we're just having a real tough go of it right now. And so, we were like, oh, good luck, bye. So Julia Pister shows us the footage that they had, some of the footage with Hugh Templeton, and there's a little bit of Charlotte. And she's like, what do you guys think? And we're like, wow, this looks amazing. And I say to Julia, I go, I think I know why they're having a problem with Charlotte. And she's like, wait, what? So I literally grab a scrap of paper. Now, what they had done, everything was super realistic. If you haven't seen the movie, it's basically like a CG rat, like a real-looking rat, a real-looking pig, a real-looking sheep. Think Babe, and you've got it. You know, the Babe movies.
And the tarantula.
And then the spider, which Charlotte is like a very specific species. It's like I want to say like Avada Kedavra, but I know that's the killing curse from Harry Potter. But it's like Avada Kedavra. It's like it's some type of orb weaver spider. That I do remember. Yep. That E.B. White specifically says she is in the book, and so they had built a CG model of this actual spider, and the spider's mouth, has these mandibles. And so these mandibles are working like this, and out of these mandibles is coming Julia Roberts' voice. Well, the studio freaked out and said, you got to make her softer or more something that audiences will not be repulsed. So their solution was to put fur on her, make her hairier. Well, that just made her now a talking tarantula with mandibles and Julia Roberts' voice, which, look, is part of the thing. You're like, ooh, you're a spider.
It was too real.
It was a lot of real. So,
it was not, you know what it was? It was the thing that if it came up in your Instagram feed, you'd be like, oh! Yeah. Like, you would just scroll on it and freak out.
So it was Uncanny Valley plus...
Not anthropomorphized at all.
So I was taking a lot of macro photography of insects at the time, among my nerdy things. And so I take a scrap of paper and I show Julia Pister, well, maybe if you did this and this and this, and I kind of draw it and show it. And she looks at it, and she's like, oh my God, that could work. And then she literally grabs me by the arm and goes, come with me. And we leave. And she's like, we'll be back, Mark. And Mark, okay, all right, I'll see you later. So she walks me across the studio, and we go to like the main executive offices of Paramount.
Yeah, like the head of Paramount.
It wasn't the head. It was Brad Gray would have been the head at the time. But it was Ali Shermer, who was like number 2 at the studio at the time. So we go in, and there's it's a huge office. There's the secretary is like, Julia, what are you here for? She's like, I'm here with Tony. We need to talk to Ali Shermer immediately. So she's like, all right, I'll let Ali know. She's busy with some her assistants or something right now at the moment. So I sit down in this little waiting room with Julia, and Julia's kind of, I could tell she's nervous, and she's like, this is great. Did you bring the piece of paper? And I said, no, I didn't know I was supposed to. And it's happening as fast as I'm telling you this story. And she's like, okay, she'll have paper. Do you have a pen? I'm like, I don't. I'm sure she has a pen. Anyway, behind the closed door, you can hear someone getting reamed out.
Fired, like
just being berated. Like, think of a Hollywood movie where someone is being like lambasted by their boss, and that's what's going behind the closed door. And now I'm like, I'm
putting the wow emoji for that. Whoa!
I don't even know if I want to go in this room now. Not for my own safety. Well, I was worried about that, but also like I don't want to derail Spiderwick. So
yeah, you just. And I will say, even in these things, you think, all of a sudden you feel like you're the employee, right? And you could be fired at
I thought I was
going to
get fired.
You're like, that's it.
I know. I had faith in Julia and her thinking, but I just could hear what was going on in the room beyond. The door opens up, like 2 or 3 assistants come out. I feel like they were all 20-year-old girls. One's crying, like literally clutching her clipboard, like literally like leaving like this, and I'm going, oh my God.
Horrible.
And I'm thinking of like a studio executive. I mean, I can hear a woman's voice, so I know it's not a man, but I'm thinking like this bulldog woman with a cigar is going to come out and go, "All right, rah, rah, rah." And instead, like this 4-foot, 90-pound woman comes walking out in like Chanel. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
And she walks out and she goes, "Julia, why are you here for?" And then she's like, "Well," and then she gets up and then they're whispering. Well, Julia's whispering, but Allie's not whispering. "Well, I'm here with Tony DiTerlizzi, creator of Spider-Rick. Why is he here?" Like, and I'm like, "I'm right here. He has a thing to show you with Charlotte." And then she just brings her over, and I'm like, "Hi," like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hi."
Were you in her office?
No, we were just literally outside her office. Like the next meeting she had was like sitting in the chair, and that dude looked scared too. And we're literally just having this conversation, like around the imagine.
Yes, Devil Wears Prada.
Imagine
Absolutely.
this in like velour or velvet. All this is white or like a sand color.
Huge
Everything in the room
office.
very minimal. Well, we're in the lobby of her,
Okay.
waiting. This was a nice coffee table. There's magazines, water. Would you like water? There's water.
Oh yeah, everybody offers you water at every meeting you go to. Would you like some water? And I've heard that it's bad luck if you don't accept the water.
I heard it's bad luck if you have to pee in the middle of a meeting because you drank 5 million waters as you went from meeting to meeting. Anyway,
You just wear a diaper, it'll be fine.
I'm wearing a diaper now. Hold on. Okay. So she goes, just do the thing. Just show her the thing like you just like take a piece of stationery, I take a pen and I do the thing and I explain it to her. And she looks at it and she's quiet. She looks at her. She looks at me. Then she hugs me. Like hugs me.
Amazing.
And says, "Oh my God, this is it. You saved Charlotte. Set a meeting for him with Winnick tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp. I gotta go. Bye." And that was it. And then fast forward, it's like literally 9 o'clock the next morning. I'm back on the Paramount lot with Gary, and he goes, "So, who are you again?" And I do the thing again. He goes, "Where were you like months ago when we were in pre-pro?" I'm like, "I don't know." So this is a very long story. Hopefully it's entertained you.
I think it's entertaining. There's lots of laughing.
Laughing, okay, good. So I literally take a laptop. I go, "Is there wireless?" And I take them to Bug Guide, which is where I posted my macro photos of insects that I had taken in the backyard and on trails. And he's looking at the photos, and he's looking at me, and he goes, "Who are you?"
It's so good.
He goes, "You're the guy that you created Spiderwig?" And you take and I go, "Well, it's all like I love nature. Well, I love nature, and da 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 da." And then we had a really terrific time. And so what they did, what was easiest for me was they sent me stills. No, then he took me he screened the movie for me. We went into one of the things. I forgot about that. We screened the whole movie. He's like, "All right, be back here at 3 o'clock. We're going to run the movie. You can see it. It's rough." And I felt bad because some of the effects guys were there, and you can tell they'd also been reamed by someone. I don't know if it came directly from Allie or through a chain of command, but they had that same kind of look like this.
Well, I remember the very first time in that movie when you see Charlotte and she comes down and all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
like it was scary. It was freaky.
There wasn't a lot they could do, to be honest.
But you basically were like, you need to make the eyes more human.
Yeah, you need to actually put pupils in the eyes.
And she needed to feel female in a way. Like, so you were...
I was very
on the
limited. I was very limited in what I could do, actually. At that point, they were so far along, they would have needed a lot more money, and they would have had to do a lot of effect shots. I mean, I don't know how many shots the CG spider was in, but I'm going to guess it was a lot. So they were like, what can we fix on the fly? And it had to be really quick. And basically they gave me screen.
The mandibles.
Gave me screen stills, and then I would go in Photoshop and tweak them, and then note here's all the things I did, and put them in layers so they can kind of click them off and on to kind of see how to attempt it. And it was limiting. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot.
It's definitely, you can see a difference though. I mean, when
my big one was don't ever don't ever do this.
Yeah.
Never do that. Keep the mandibles closed. And have them just do this. And if you do that, you just get this little triangle, and it actually would look like a mouth. Because we don't talk like this, so why would you animate the spider's mandibles to do this? It's a very subtle movement. And so the spider would have very subtle moves. So the mandibles would stay closed and just kind of talk like this. And he got it.
Well, and I also think we're so conditioned. When you see spiders, like when we just watched Lord of the Rings,
yeah,
when the spider is going to attack, that's when the mandibles open up. It's like
Definitely.
when that's coming at
or
you.
with the giant spider in Harry Potter.
Yes.
Yeah, really interesting. So the kicker, the final kicker to this whole story was, my manager Ellen was like, her eyes dilated in the dollars. She was like, "Oh my God, they're going to pay you so much money." And I said, "I don't want any money." And she was like, "What?" I go, "I don't want any money. I want a credit. I want a film credit. Can I get that?" And I'm like, "No money. Like, what do you pay me? $1,000, $2,000, $10,000?" Like at the time, it was like, I mean, I would have taken it. That would have been good. I wanted the credit, and I wanted this story.
Yeah.
And so she got me the credit, and it was a really good credit. I don't remember what it was, but it was like it was like a specialized credit they were able to give me. And 2 tickets to the premiere in New York City with all the stars. Because I wanted to take you to the premiere, and we'd meet all the stars.
Right.
And so they did it. They gave me the credit. They gave me the tickets to the premiere. But what we didn't know is that you were pregnant.
That's right.
And so when the film came out, you were like 8 months, like you were far along, where you're like, "I'm not going to New York. I can't fit in any fancy dress. My feet are swollen. I don't want to go anywhere." And so somewhere in the studio is the
ticket.
are the tickets to the
That's
premiere
funny.
that we never did.
Yep.
We got the bragging rights.
Yes, he's mentioned in the credits.
I am mentioning the credits.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good story, Tom. Thanks for.
Oh no, is it 4? Is it time for a Zoom? Or how are we doing on time? Let me check. Okay, 3:58.
Ooh, well, I think it's time to cue the outro. That's it for our stories today, folks.
That is story time. You didn't draw.
I didn't draw, but I gotta tell you, I kind of liked this.
What'd you guys think?
Did you enjoy this?
Let
I
us
hope
know.
you did.
Let us know. We might have to break it up a little bit and do some drawing and then do some of this, because I liked this.
I liked it.
Yeah, I like you. Thanks for tolerating me for
27 years.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody's digging that story.
Good.
Lots of thumbs up and lots of heart emojis.
Oh, awesome. All right, before we go,
Yes.
I might be able to grab the box with the Charlotte. So let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can grab the show and tell with the Charlotte.
Oh, wow. You
I
can
think-
put your
I think
hands
I know
right
where-
on it?
I think I know where it is. Yes.
This is the nice thing about being organized, which I am not. Tony is very organized, but even more organized than Tony was Emily, who was our studio manager. She organized everything, and I've shown you guys the flat files and some of the boxes, if you took a studio tour with us, that have everything archived. So hopefully Tony can put his hand right on the box that has the archive with the images from Charlotte's Web. And you can't see, but behind you guys is a big framed poster of the movie, because it's just pretty cool to have that, you know, since T worked on it. Awesome. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Almost as good as the Momoa story. I agree.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And it's funny, it's one of those things that you realize, again, another thing where you're like, that is just kind of crazy to have been there at that very moment when that conversation was happening. And I always tell Tony, when he's in meetings and things like that, I always like to remind him, like, make sure you draw to illustrate your points, because that's something that when people see that being done, it's magic. It's like a magic trick. You're just pulling something out and it also is able to say, "Oh, I get this. Here's what it should look like. Here's what it could look like." And people are like, oh, "Yes, that makes so much sense." Did you figure it out, T?
No, I can't. I think it's.
Oh, he got it. Oh, visual consultant was the credit that he got.
Ah, there it is. I think it got folded in with spider and fly stuff, which is why I'm not putting my.
Eduardo, guys, I've been all corny this weekend, and I just feel true that I love you two, and I swear I'm totally sober. Oh, Eduardo loves us.
We love you too, Eduardo. No, you know what? I think it's meshed in with some spider and fly stuff.
Okay.
I'll find it and show it to
Okay,
you
we'll
guys.
find it, and then you'll
You guys
have that
can
ready
see
for
the
the next
sketches
one.
and stuff. Yep. Until then.
You guys, we don't have a junk pot today.
Oh, wow. We could. I have stuff left over.
You do?
Let me see what I got. Yeah, because I parsed it out. So let me see what I have.
What's he got in there?
I got some.
Going
Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
I got some goodies, Ange. I've got. Okay, you pick, Ange.
Do you think we'll still get regular homework assignments from Tony and Ange? Do you want a homework assignment now?
Make a spider look.
Well, I mean,
You
how
can
about
pick.
some...
We have 2 of these. These haven't been sent out. So
Oh my gosh!
So with
the Jason Momoa drawing?
hasn't been sent out, and the Malfoy.
Wow.
So I've still got a few set aside. So there's Malfoy. I think this was not quite a Momoa story, so this should be the junk pot today.
Okay.
And then we'll fill it with stickers and all kinds of other fun stuff.
Wow. Oh no, now I don't have my list, so I'm gonna try and have to think.
Oh, I'll get you the list.
Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Here you go. Here's the list.
Okay, I've got our list here.
This has all the previous winners, so I always check this out, so I make sure we're not
Giving a double shout out, although I know some of you would like to win a second junk pot. But let's see. Has this person won before?
That doesn't ring a bell. Let me look.
I don't think so.
No.
I
think
do
that's our
not
winner.
think so. That
Is
is
that our
our
winner?
winner.
Drum
Yes.
roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's winner of the junk pot is
Carolyn Pagan!
Carolyn
You
Pagan!
are today's winner of the Drawn to Fantasy Junk Pot. This lovely drawing of me meeting Jason Momoa
at a toilet.
Somewhere in Malibu.
somewhere in Malibu before going to Mark Hamill's house.
Carolyn, if you could send me a direct message with your mailing address, we'll get the stuff out to you tomorrow. In the meantime,
Oh, let me put on the tunes.
Tom
And play
Hoffelder's
us
theme
the
song
Tom
plays
Hoffelder original.
outro. Yes, here we go. In the meantime, stay safe.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the
There
end
it is.
of
That's
it.
good. No, it's
Oh,
good.
okay, good.
No,
All
it's
right,
all good.
all right, good.
Anyway,
good.
stay
You
safe.
guys are awesome. Thanks for
Stay
tuning
well.
in with us.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much.
being cool about us changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
It was fun.
I like it. It was good.
All right, good. All right.
Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Be well. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you later.
Da-da-da.